Hey everybody, welcome to Sense8 Debate. This is our third episode. It's our penultimate episode, and I'm only using that word because I super like it. And it means next to the last. And this is the third of 5. And Kyle just joined us. Hey.
Hey.
Yay.
So we are all fully here. And tonight we are talking about probably everybody's actual favorite Sense8s, which are Nomi and Lito. If you haven't watched Sense8 Debate, or Sense8 on Netflix, if you're still on the fence about whether or not you want to watch it, I don't know why you're watching our YouTube talk about it if you haven't seen it. For those of you that might still be on the fence, these are the characters that you want to pay attention to, and they're the ones that everybody's been talking about and why they're just almost revolutionary. So Nomi, Lito, we're ready to talk about them tonight. They're played by the awesome Jamie Clayton. And Miguel, somebody else? Anybody want to throw in there who they are? I don't know. Thank you. Thank you.
Angel Silvestre.
Oh my gosh. Say it again. I'm Beth, and I'm having some wine and some kettle corn, which is much better than popcorn. I don't know what's on it. Honey?
I thought you said cuddle porn, and I was like,
what?
Kettle corn.
Cuddle
It's
porn.
delicious.
It is. It's really
Cuddle porn?
Kettle
Cuddle
corn.
porn.
Am I
Got
too
it.
southern tonight? Am I throwing it out there?
I think you tapped into something with cuddle porn. So.
I think I prefer cuddle porn.
Cuddle porn, that's the Josh Duggar porn that he was looking at. All that cuddle porn. That's a 19 Kids and Counting special edition porn station.
Hashtag cuddle porn.
Oh
They
my
pray
God.
with their butts touching, and then they just turn back around, and it's a good time. Anyway, everybody introduce yourself, say hello.
Hi. Okay, I guess I'll talk. I'm multitasking. I'm currently doing my other job right now, so I'm helping people out with Apple stuff while I'm talking with you guys, and because I can't miss this at all.
Right. No.
I can't. It's Lito and Nomi. I mean, obviously. So, I'm Kyle from Hypable, and I just got back from a cruise, a 4-day cruise to Mexico, and it was amazing.
Was
So
Lito
amazing.
there? Did you see
No.
Lito and Hernando?
Oh, I wish. No. But it was awesome, and these two characters are my absolute favorites, like by far. Just I wrote an article on how diverse Sense8 is. I think I've brought that up like 100 times now, and my main 2 points were Nomi and Lito because they're amazing. So
Absolutely. Yay. I love them too. Very much. Okay, Lindsay, say hey. You're muted. You're still muted. Hello.
Okay. Hi.
Hey.
I'm Lindsay. I am drinking white wine. And I am super excited to talk about Lito and Hernando today. And Nomi, too. Mostly Hernando.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's how everybody feels.
Yeah.
Lindsay's handle, if you can't see it, is @BreatheReadLove, and she's hilarious, and you should follow her. And she also has a really fun blog it's her own blog, where she writes love letters to authors that write her the best books that she likes, and it's really fun, and we really like it a lot. So go follow her. All right, Katie, say hi.
Hi. I'm also really excited about this. Lito is my favorite. Just as an aside, one of the things that I talked about on the Hangout Lander is when I went to the Sense8 talk at Comic-Con, none of the cast were there, but the creator was there, and during the audience questions, just person after person came up and said, thank you for showing people who look like me on television. And it was really fantastic to, speaking to what Kyle was saying, it's very revolutionary from that standpoint to see people who are just so normal and to have that just so seamlessly integrated into the show, even though they are not, the normative, sexuality. So I'm excited. And Lito's hot.
In a cuddly way. Julie, say hi.
Hi, I'm Julie. I guess it goes without saying that we're all excited for Lito and Hernando and Nomi and Nomi's girlfriend, and we're really more excited about Lito and Hernando. So, yeah, I'm excited. I'm probably going to talk a lot about Hernando and Hernando's glasses and Hernando's body and his butt. So I'm gonna break down
And his beanie.
I'm into Hernando's bitchy looks. That's my favorite. His eyebrows, basically.
and the way he says cock, because it's amazing the way he says it. I may have watched that a couple of times. Whatever.
Oh gosh.
Don't judge.
I am, for some reason, I'm also tweeting, and this is not a good. I shouldn't be leading and tweeting at the same time, but I am, and I really apologize for that. But I had to tell Chuchello because she said that Josh Duggar didn't want porn. He didn't get cuddle porn. That's what he got at home. He actually asked for cuddling in his OkCupid profile. Asked for cuddling and like bathing and the most vanilla, most awful sounding shit you've ever read.
Did he want a love nest? Was that what he wanted? He wanted a love nest?
Yeah. No, if you had like a secret love nest, he wanted you to like. I don't understand.
Dust it.
Like
Mop it.
he wanted somebody to just mama bird him. He like missed the way Michelle used to feed them their tater tot casserole. So he was like, somebody could just put me in some pillows, tater tot casserole, mama bird me down. I'd be totally okay with that.
And maybe swaddle him later.
Yeah. If somebody has 8 kids that I can carry around for the hell of it, then that's really sexy. But anyway, enough about Josh Duggar and his horrificness, because he could not be any less into Sense8 and Nomi and Lito. I don't think he could hate it more, which is why I love it. But real quick, I think we need to get out of the way. If you're new to Sense8 and you're wondering like where we all stand on the spectrum, me, Katie, Lindsay, and Julie, we're all Daniela. And if we had the opportunity to be Lito's beard and be a little bit too like fetishizing of gay sex, we would just take that opportunity with open arms. That would be all we could. I can't imagine anything being better than Daniela's existence in the majority of this show.
I was going to say that I'm also Daniela, but I don't know. Like, I get to experience all of it firsthand. It's great.
You're an asshole, all right? I don't want to hear that.
I'm sorry.
We need to start the hashtag. We're Danielas. We're the Danielas.
We're all Daniela. Yep.
We're Danielas in the Lito world.
That's right. And if this was Outlander, we're all leery. Everybody wants some Jamie and can't have him. Yep. But in Sense8 world, we're all Daniela. We all just want to be in that sandwich. Even if all we get are iPhone photos. Let's get Daniela out of the way a little bit because
she gets that too, so that's fine too. All right.
Yeah, she causes some issues, right? I mean, she's not a perfect person. She's a little over fetishizing of their relationship, and it is problematic. Does anybody find her creepy?
Yeah, she's totally inappropriate.
Oh yeah. I mean, she took pictures of them without them knowing. Yeah. That was a little wrong.
It seemed to me in that moment that they knew she was there. Yeah. It seemed to me like they knew what she was doing.
I'm not gonna fault her. There's 2 hot guys making out in front of me. I'd just be like.
See, I would not be continuing what I was doing if she was standing right there. I'd be like, okay, you can go. Bye bye.
Maybe they knew she was watching, but I don't think they knew she was taking pictures of them.
See, what's weird is that like she's not involved in any sort of way. Like she's just watching. It would be less weird if she was actually doing like a threesome with them.
Right.
Because then they're all taking part in it.
I agree.
So it's weird that she's just standing. She's just standing there creepily, watching.
I'm now that somebody like fan fictions a threesome with Daniela and Lito and Hernando now. I'm so excited. That got me kind of hot.
Well, unfortunately, like they're not asking her to join in. I think she would happily join in if they were. So I mean, they're aware that she's there. It's creepy, yes, on her part, but it's also like it's creepy on their part. Like they're not offering her for her to like participate, but they're totally cool with her being there.
Exactly. It's not like they like shut the door and shut the curtains. Like, you know, they made no attempt to like exclude her in any kind of a way, but then, or not exclude or include. But I mean, to that we are Daniela. Like, I mean, I think that I would be inappropriate and really creepy in that situation as well. So, as Julie said, I don't think I can fault her. I don't know if I would take pictures, but I would be really inappropriate and creepy.
Yeah.
I'm judging you like Judy.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I will say, like, all kidding aside, yeah, I think it was kind of like, were they so into each other at that moment, like so passionate about each other that they forgot about her? And at the same time, maybe at the same time I would have been like, oh, you guys are doing this now. Okay, well, privacy time, I guess. So I do see where the creepiness kind of lies with Daniela. So.
Yeah, I mean, she's puts her hand down her pants. She's not like hiding that she's enjoying what's going on.
She's using them as her own personal gay porn channel.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. Which I don't blame her in that case, because Lito and Hernando are probably like, they're like the epitome of amazing. They're the epitome of like gay relationship goals if you're a straight white woman. They're really awesome. So I get it, but it's still not okay. I still would not do what Daniela does, but I get it. And I enjoy it for humor value.
Let me just put that. How do we know? I'm sorry, I'm looking at the feed. How do we know that she didn't get involved? I'm sorry, it's Anna. I can't say your tweet.
I always say Chuchello, but that's probably wrong.
Okay. How do we know that she didn't get involved? Looks like she might have been before the Four Non Blondes song, because they're all in bed together. And I know what scene she's talking about, because I kind of was looking at that scene too. They're all spooning together.
Yeah.
And so that could be. So maybe.
Yeah, I thought there were a couple times where it looked like she wasn't just a voyeur. Like, it seemed like they were willingly letting her there. And just the simple fact that, like, Hernando gets as upset as he does about Lito letting her go doesn't necessarily mean that there's any kind of, like, romantic involvement with what they're doing. But certainly they're, you know, a very tight friendship has evolved out of their weird situation. And, I mean, there's something there, enough for them to feel comfortable for her to be in their bed.
Yeah.
So, I'm pro Daniela, but I do think she causes some issues. I feel you, girl.
Definitely.
She causes a lot of issues, like a lot. Like the whole stalker thing is all her fault, and it's all her fault because she took pictures and she like, you know.
Yeah.
But she's like the catalyst. She's the one who creates the situation where Lito has to confront himself. So
Right.
that's her role in the show.
Absolutely. Look at Lindsay bringing out some actual information. That's true. That's fully true. No, she is. I mean, without Daniela, there'd be no conflict, then their relationship wouldn't have moved forward.
Right.
Speaking of their relationship, let's talk about the breakup scene, because it was super painful. And as painful as it is to see Hernando walk away with his little, like, rolled up pants and his loafers, which is the cutest thing ever. The way Lito is, like, whispering, like, come back, and he can't say it. Oh, my heart.
I love that whole thing from, when the breakup happened, just kind of all the way through, like, Lito's, like, total meltdown was just such an amazing kind of crash and burn. But yeah, that the fact that he couldn't even call out to him, he was so afraid for his career, and and just I lost a flip-flop, just like all of it was just so like kind of mundanely heartbreaking, but just like, amazing, the writing was amazing, and just the acting, like the way that he just really transmitted and really really communicated that like just the like ridiculousness of grief, like what you turn into when you're in that position, was just phenomenal.
And and it was so real. Like, it's so real to like have that kind of breakdown and not be able to say anything coherent and just be, just be a puddle in your hot tub, your empty hot tub. With your one sock.
It's broken. Broken.
Oh man.
Oh, but it got me too when he was, calling, and then the voicemail box was full, and you're just like, you're cringing inside, but you cringe because and I'm sure everybody has somehow been through that, where it's just like, why don't you talk to me? Just call me. I just need to hear your voice. That's all I need to do, and then I'll be fine. And then it just escalates, and it gets worse and worse and worse. So it was heart-wrenching to see that.
It was tough. It was tough stuff. And it's sad, too, because the other sensates are feeling Lito's pain. And we haven't even talked about the sensates. It just talked about Lito and Hernando. Like, that's how I can watch a whole show.
We should have just done one hangout for Lito.
I know.
Really, though. I mean, I'd be all about that.
I think we all would. Obviously. But I love how going back, like, let's get it to Nomi really quickly. And my favorite thing about Lito and Nomi and why we're talking about them together is obviously, they're the queer factor on this show. They're the gay characters on this show, and Nomi is so blazingly out. Like, everything about her life is about pride, and everything about in Lito's life with regard to his sexuality is, I don't want to say this, but it's about prejudice, right? So they're just this opposite ends of the spectrum, where he is so closeted, but yet they both have these beautiful, loving relationships, and it just shows both sides of it. What did you guys think about just seeing queer relationships so well represented on both ends of the spectrum?
I was really happy about it. I have a lot of friends who identify as trans male and trans female, and seeing Nomi go through all the troubles that like my friends have had to deal with, not like the brain science psychic stuff, but the parents that like still call them by like their birth name and everything, like it was really like hard hitting, it hit home hard. I don't know that phrase, I can't say it, but. And I'm not even trans, but like it hit me hard because I have so many close friends who are, and I'm gay, so it's just like I need to know how this goes for them. So it's just like it was awesome, and I think the difference between Lito and Nomi are amazing, and I love that they're so polar opposites on every end of the spectrum, like literally, and they connect. And that moment between Lito and Nomi in the art gallery was one of my favorite scenes I think I've ever seen on television, just because it was so like heartbreaking. It was so well done. Yeah. Amazing.
There's amazing lines in that scene, but I think it's just got amazing imagery, and it's so well shot, and there's just a lot going on. And Lindsay, didn't you say that you watched something from the creators about it?
Yeah, so I watched Lana Wachowski is one of the directors. Her brother also directs with her. She is a trans, and she gave a speech at the Human Rights Council that was, she's been very private. She's like sort of closeted herself from the press in the past, and she sort of just started to come forward and talk about, her transition and things like that. And it just really hit home. I just watched it tonight, and she just talks about how she wants to normalize the spectrum, that the fluidity of gender and race and sexuality, and she wants there to be examples for kids that she didn't have growing up, of, you know, that this is normal, that you're okay, that there's other people out there who are like you, you know, and that was really important to her. And I feel like that entire speech where Nomi is talking to Lito in the art gallery is just that encapsulated in one thing, because when she says what we work for versus what we live for, and, you know, things where she's just trying to get him to be okay with who he is and, you know, stop being afraid of it. I thought it was really powerful, and I think that's why the show is so powerful.
Yeah. And because you know in that moment, you know enough about them and their situations and the sensate situation that she's feeling what he feels. Like she's feeling his shame, and she's feeling his like trepidation about coming out, and she's feeling his loss. And
well,
so
and she shares that shower scene with him so that he can feel what she went through. And
absolutely, yeah. And you wonder what it's like their childhoods, like how much of themselves is wrapped up in what the other sensates have been feeling, like throughout their whole life, or did it just happen at the moment of their birth or whatever? And that shower scene is so powerful just in general, like if it were on any show, like watching this, you know, trans kid go through something so traumatic, and then to say as an adult, that made me the woman that I am. I mean, it's amazing. That's my favorite line of that one. It's just this amazingly powerful, realistic, just glimpse into what people experience that you don't get when you're watching sensationalized like Caitlyn Jenner stuff or whatever. You're just not involved in the interior of their lives when it's so sensationalized. And so this is just, it feels real in an emotional scene with characters you already know, and it allows regular like cis, you know, heterosexual people to just be like, oh Jesus, like that's honestly something I can at the very least sympathize with, but empathize with those massive amounts of trauma and feeling.
Right, and it's not like fetishized or like I don't know what the word is, but like it's so authentic because they make them in normative relationships, right? They're in love with their partners, they're showing them, you know, they're not just like the side character or whatever, like in the stereotypical roles. So
I also
think
loved.
that's really amazing. I mean, when you think about kind of like, oh, sorry, good.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
You know, when you think about kind of our history of like kind of like the very like caricatured like, you know, Will and Grace, and like, you know, kind of the way that we're like have been comfortable seeing, you know, homosexual characters on television has been just like very kind of comic reliefy, and to see them in just like not just like relationships that like that make them better, like their relationships, you know, that the criticisms are always like, you know, that they're just like hooking up, and there's like this weird like perception by, you know, the prejudiced, you know, corners of America that it's like just, you know, they can't make these connections, and here you have these people that are made better by their relationships, and that, you know, they're having not just, you know, regular, intellectual relationships, but also physical relationships that are real and normal and beautiful, and it's just not something that you see on television. Like, no one has been brave enough to be able to show that happening.
Yeah.
And I also liked the fact, too, that here is Nomi and Amanita. That's the girlfriend's name. They live in San Francisco.
Amanita. Okay, Amanita. I'm sorry. See, can't even remember that one. Okay. But I love too that I believe it was in the first episode. Even Nomi has a flashback and shows that even within the community in which she lives in, there's still some form of, she still struggles, that somebody challenged her, and she still goes through that. And I thought that was amazing. And her speech about pride was amazing. I loved that speech about pride. And why do you march, and why do you have the parade? And I thought that was fantastic. So I do like Nomi.
Yeah, and Anna on Twitter, Chucholo just said that Lito and Nomi are the only ones out of all the sensates that are in these steady, committed relationships, and it's something that I was thinking while we were talking. It's very true. They're the ones who are normalized. Everyone else is single, or they're look asexual, like Capheus and Sun, and here, you know, you have these the sex scenes, and the people that are already in committed relationships are are the gay characters, and it's just, I mean, it's so different than what we're used to, and it's at the same time totally recognizable as love and as comic relief and as and as pain and as all the things that happen when we watch any other show or experience any other kind of art with love and pain. And it's just, and it's normal, and it's these trans women, when the very first thing we see with them is this big wet rainbow dildo, and you're like, oh, okay, where are we going with this? But then you see, even throughout all the crazy stuff that happens, Nomi and Amanita's relationship doesn't falter. It's stronger and becomes even better, and you're just like, what? I mean, they could have used it as this tool to push her away and make Nomi have to be on her own and all this stuff, but instead they just keep getting closer, and it's fantastically written. And I guess obviously, coming from the perspective of people who live that life, we're just so I'm just so thankful that they put it out. I'm so grateful that it's on TV and that I can see it and share it with people and talk about it.
Absolutely, and I'm so glad they have a second season.
I know.
And I like the
and I also love, one of the things that I love about Nomi is
y'all are just talking over each other like some crazies.
It's now Julie, man. We're like.
From now on, Katie and Julie have to hold up a hand. That's the new rule. I'm just kidding. Go ahead, Katie.
Oh crap! What was I going to say? One of the things that I really liked about the Nomi character that they did is, I knew that she was transgender coming in, but they didn't say it. You don't find out until the second or third or fourth. I don't even remember when basically she gets committed in the hospital. There's no mention of it made, and I think if you're really paying attention, you might notice it. But I love that it was just that is who she is, and that. I mean, that just how revealing any attention to that was. And I think one thing that I would like to say about the Lito Nomi scene in the art museum is something that I really liked about that shower story, is that I think that it's really easy to kind of judge Lito for what he was doing in terms of kind of turning his back on Daniela and focusing on being so obsessed with not ruining his career. But that story really highlighted how terrible it can be, in a way, and it just made me sympathize a little bit more with him and with the struggle that he was facing, because it can be really terrible and violent and dangerous and all of these things. So it's on the one hand, it gave him permission to be
You there, Katie?
or gave him the impetus to.
Okay, I think you're breaking up a little bit, Katie. Okay.
Well,
I agree with you. I agree with you. I think that scene was hugely important, just because obviously gives him a catalyst to go get Hernando back in the most romantic Prince Charming fashion ever. But at the same time, it highlights what's going on. So yeah, go ahead.
And it ups the stakes too, because he's in Mexico City. This is a Catholic, culture where it's even harder probably to come out than it is in San Francisco. Obviously in San Francisco. So his career really can be ruined by this, and for him to give that up for Lito is, I think, it just ups the stakes or whatever.
Yeah, and plus he's just he's this action star. It's like Tom Cruise. I mean, he's not coming out anytime soon. It's just he's the Tom Cruise of Mexico City or whatever. He's this major action star who can never say who he really is, right? Because it would ruin everything he has.
Right.
And so we know men all in Hollywood or whatever, they're suspected of being gay, and they're just not coming out because it's going to ruin their careers. And this is a different culture of movie making and celebrity and all of that kind of stuff that would be less accepting of that. So I mean, it makes perfect sense that he's as closeted as he is, but at the same time it makes it more exciting when he goes out.
Which I think that will be a great
Which
focus.
is
So the fact that he'll have to deal with coming out, and how will that affect his career? And
Yeah.
you know, it's one thing to say it to Hernando, and now he has to say it to the public, and that will be a great journey for Lito.
Yeah.
So
My least favorite thing, though, I have to say, I do read a good bit of male romance, and my least favorite, like, I know that's a surprise to everybody, but my least favorite, like, trope, angst, problem with relationships is when it's just about, like, one of them coming out and one of them I'm just like, I mean, I realize that that's a thing, a big thing, obviously, but it feels very tired sometimes. But it did not feel tired in Sense8. I was very aware that it was a realistic issue for them to be facing, so love it.
I have a question. Does anybody know what Hernando? I was thinking about this driving because I knew about, you know, obviously we were doing this tonight. But does anyone know what Hernando does for a living? Did they ever talk about that? Any mention about that?
No, they definitely didn't, because I was wondering the same thing. I was like, what does this boy do? Because he has amazing style, and he has these great glasses, and I'm like, what do you? Is Lito just buying you everything? What's going on?
So what do we assume that he does? I thought he was like a professor, like an art history professor.
Yeah.
Stripper.
Oh God.
But like a classy stripper.
Totally.
Magic Hernando.
Yeah.
Totally. Just the glasses. No, I mean, I guess that he has like a professorial look. So if he's gonna be a stripper,
he does.
he
Yeah,
wears
that's
the
true.
elbow patches and those he rips the patches off first.
Elbow patches.
And he cooks. Like, what doesn't Hernando do? I don't know.
Yeah.
Top. I don't think he tops.
He might.
Well, I'd like to see that. Pictures or it didn't happen, Hernando.
Daniela can help you.
Yeah, Daniela got you there.
Totally.
She's got me hooked up. That's my girl.
She got all the pics.
Yeah.
You could do a play-by-play with Daniela's pictures. See that position? You should be. Now watch what we do. There we go. Training.
Let's talk about Nomi and Amanita for a little bit, because I love their relationship. I love how solid they are. I love Amanita's mother. I just love. I really love Amanita as a character. There's
great.
something about her craziness and her down to earth and her just so American to me for some reason.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if it's just her style or just how free she is, but she just feels like this. She feels all American to me. And is the actress?
It's free.
Isn't she
It's
British?
Freema Agman, and she's Doctor Who. She's Martha on Doctor Who.
She's
She's
a British actress.
British.
yeah, she's completely British. Although there were points in the show where she had said something.
You can hear it.
Okay.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can hear it.
Yeah.
And wasn't she on the Carrie Diaries? Am I the only one who's probably watched that show?
I have not seen that show.
Anyway, every time I've seen her, she's British, and so when she starts speaking, I'm like, "What is your Americanness coming from? You're not an American." But it made
Yep.
it feel where the character felt very authentically American, all American girl kind of thing.
Totally. She's astounding. Although it was really, really jarring to see her in that first scene as a Doctor Who fan, because I was like, Martha? What? Oh my gosh.
What are you doing to her?
Rainbow dildos?
Right? Oh god, I never want to see another rainbow dildo in my life. That was gross.
You guys, my sister's name is Martha, and I just she could not be more conservative. I mean, everything about that collusion in my head just was like, no,
no.
record scratch.
You won't be able to think of her again without thinking of rainbow dildos. No.
You know what was the best part about about the rainbow dildo? It was not even just the dildo itself was rainbow. You're like, oh, that's pretty. It was when it hit the ground.
And it was sopping wet. Ugh. It's like now picturing David Tennant like carrying a rainbow dildo instead of his screwdriver, and he's like, ah!
When
Oh,
at the
no.
Comic-Con, Joe Straczynski was talking about that scene and how apparently it was like, some guy, some with like a degree in film had to was the guy who had to drop the dildo. And because it was rubber, they couldn't really predict how it would bounce. So it would be it would bounce off screen, or it would bounce under the bed. Or then there's one, I guess, when it was facing the camera, it was incredibly threatening, and they're like, "You can't use that one. Drop it again. Drop
Incredibly
it again."
threatening. Oh my goodness.
They are threatening.
Really funny.
When they're wielded by others, they're very threatening. No,
Yes.
get it away.
She's got the dildo, and then when they're chasing after Nomi, the Whisperer and his men, she is the one with the tampon, and she takes the cough syrup.
She's so good.
And I was like,
So good.
oh my god! And she's like, you want this? And I'm like, oh. Yeah, and I knew it was cough syrup, but still, I was like, oh no, I don't know.
That was a great scene. That was
so
smart.
amazing.
I forgot about it until just now.
Yeah.
She's
But-
super resourceful. She's like a
Super clever.
superhero girlfriend.
She is a little bit.
She's like a lesbian MacGyver. She just knows tampon, cough syrup.
She sets the lobby on fire. She's
Oh
just
my goodness.
She busts her out of crazy hospital man.
Yeah.
Which that leads into one of my other one of the things I wanted to talk about was the one thing that I super hate about Nomi's storyline is the fact that we're dropped into it for the most part in the crazy hospital realm where she's being kind of they're committing her and she's trying to be lobotomized. There's something about that whole storyline that just doesn't sit right with me. I don't know if it's because it happens so early on and the tension feels off, or the fact that she becomes really super resourceful and perfect at the end of the season, and at the beginning she felt so weak because she was, I don't know. Something about it felt off to me. What did you guys think? I mean,
I felt like it was unbelievable. I wasn't. It didn't make sense to me because at what hospital, how are you going to take this person and completely, who's a legal adult, and completely hold them against their will?
yeah, is that a thing?
Yeah, I don't know. And what kind of hospital was that? Was it a mental institution? Was it or is it a normal hospital? Because if it was a mental institution, then they had no I don't get it.
Yeah, I'm
think
totally
it was
baffled.
legal.
I do know in California you can have, you have to go through great legal lengths to prove somebody is beyond their mental capacities to take care of themselves. I forgot what the number is, but that I agree that I think it was way too far-fetched, and it took forever. I felt like it took a few episodes, and it was like, all right, okay, enough.
Yeah.
So
Well, and I feel like she's the character they're using to tell the Whispers story. I mean, also they used Riley and Will towards the end, but so it doesn't. It feels rushed. It feels sort of, I don't know. It's also just really confusing because we don't know what they're doing yet.
Yeah.
With Whispers, and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed the part with her mom. I guess that maybe because it made it more relatable, the fact that's how we find out she's trans, right? So her mom keeps calling her Michael, and you're like, what? What's happening? I don't know what happened. And so you find out all these things. And isn't it interesting? Is her name Nomi because she's no Michael?
Ha.
Oh.
Is it an anagram of a real name? I don't know what it is. Anyway. But I liked that part of it. But the entire Whispers aspect of it felt very fabricated and weird to me. And I guess maybe if I go back and watch the season, maybe it won't feel so choppy and it'll make a little bit more sense. But I felt like it almost Mary sued her a little bit because she becomes so capable.
Mm-hmm.
And at the beginning, she's just all navel grazing and don't lobotomize me, and I'm just like, I don't. Your character's not gelling for me in a weird way.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was inconsistent.
Yeah.
Totally.
Especially for a character that we like and love and want to see more of. I mean, when she's like sitting in that car being like, I can't drive, and she's escaping, it's so much fun, but at the same time you're kind of like, where did you come from? What is this weird thing that they're putting you in? I just didn't get the hospital. I didn't get it. I wish that had happened differently, I guess. Maybe it'll come up later, like another cluster. They've done a lot of lobotomies or something like that, and we'll find out more. There'll be more of that.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
I'm thinking that the name Nomi, going back, I don't know, when I was watching it, I was thinking that too. I was like, does it stand for like maybe a variation of her name before? But I was thinking maybe like Nomi. Okay, I'm totally stretching this. I'm so sorry. It's a long day. Like
I'm looking for it.
Like know who I am. So know me. Like,
oh. I like that. Headcanon accepted.
Yeah, got it.
Done. You're welcome.
Well, that's what Jamie Clayton tags all of her tweets with hashtag you don't know me.
Aw.
Aw.
So there we go.
Yeah. Nice. Clever, Julie.
Thank you. Me and Jamie Clayton.
Y'all are like this.
We are. I did stalk Jamie Clayton, so I was watching this. I'm like, this woman is amazing. And to come to find out, if you don't know anything about Jamie Clayton, she actually is transgendered in real life. She's amazing. She was a model.
Is she really?
He is.
I didn't know that.
Okay, because I tried looking that up. I really hardcore tried to find out whether or not she was, and I had thought I came to the conclusion that she wasn't, which made me a little upset. But I guess she is. So
no, I'll send you the we'll post. There's a New York Magazine, I think, article on her, and she is very open about it and who she actually went to for surgery and everything she's had done. So before there was Caitlyn Jenner, there's Jamie Clayton. So she's gorgeous, and they named her, I think, one of New York's most beautiful women.
Wow. Yeah, she's amazing.
Yeah.
She is. So
I didn't think she was trans either. I thought she was just a cis woman, and so it kind of bothered me a little bit.
Yeah,
I was like,
same.
I really wish they had just gotten a trans actress. But the fact that she's trans is fantastic.
Yeah.
That makes me feel a lot better about the whole thing.
That makes way more sense.
Yeah. Yeah. And she's beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Not that we should be surprised or anything like that. It's not something to be, shocked about. She is, completely gorgeous. So I love that. But thoughts about any scenes with Nomi and Lito that you don't like? I mean, I've just talked about the hospital for a long time because I don't like those scenes. But, what is there anything in Lito's story that you're just like, I wish we hadn't gone there?
The kiss with the bartender, I don't know. I didn't need that.
Yeah, that made no sense.
I thought it was so out of character. I just was like, what?
I was like, wait
What are you
a
doing
second.
here?
You're about to get back with your boyfriend. You're about to beg him back, but you're going to go to a stranger and kiss him. Are you even going to tell him about what's going on in your head? That made no sense.
Just after his whole talk with Nomi, having the bartender, I mean, I get they were trying to, push him still more to do it, but, they didn't need it. It was just beating the dead horse at that time.
It was, a totally clear thing that they were trying to push him to being out and proud, and he doesn't care who sees him kissing this guy in public. But it still made that should have been with Hernando, you know.
If he hadn't kissed him though, it would have been just a scene of him making amends to a gay man that he had offended.
But I think it would have been a lot stronger if they had made it for if Lito was filming something on set and he asked Hernando to come by and Hernando comes by and then without saying anything Lito kisses Hernando in the middle of the set and everyone's just like, that would have been oh.
That would have been. You're right.
Yeah.
That would have been very Whitney Houston.
I love when he says that. I wish they would have broken out into song at that point. I'm Every Woman would have been my preferable choice. I don't even know if I'm Every Woman is on the Bodyguard soundtrack, although I had the Bodyguard soundtrack on cassette when I was 9, but
it is.
That would have been the best song for the
My mom used to jazzercise to it, so I know it's on it.
Oh, holy shit. That's the best little tidbit ever.
Wow.
I'm everyone. My mom had a major crush on Kevin Costner to the point where we had a VHS copy of The Bodyguard that she wouldn't let us watch, and Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, which we watched. I mean, I know every line to Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves because we wore that VHS tape out. And so I would be quoting them, and at one point I was like quoting something that had the word bastard in it, and my mom was like, "Don't say that word." And I'm like, "Well, you're letting me watch this movie over and over again. I'm going to quote it. I don't know what bastard means." I did after that day, though. Thanks for your crush on Kevin Costner, Mom. I also had a major crush on Christian Slater thanks to that movie.
Who? Christian Slater.
Christian Slater. Christian Slater is where it's at, late 90s.
Yes.
I had a crush on Morgan Freeman.
Wait. No. Okay.
I was like, poor Morgan Freeman's not going to be loving this, so here we go.
I thought you were serious, and I was like, I'm just imagining a little girl like being like, Morgan Freeman.
Oh. Especially because Alan Rickman is in that movie. Like, if you want to crush on somebody, go for Alan Rickman.
Yeah.
I'm going to cut your heart out with a spoon. That's the greatest lines ever. And he really says it that way. That was my best English accent.
That was awesome, actually. Because I remember that scene now that you said it just like that. That was perfect. But no, I'm not really in love with Morgan Freeman. His voice is amazing, but that's it. Sorry, Morgan Freeman fans.
I learned a lot. I learned a lot watching that show about what Moors were. That's it. I don't know how we started talking. I'm sorry that we stopped and started talking about Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
Wow, yeah, we really just went off track there.
I apologize to everyone, and there's not even any gay characters in that movie. So let's talk about Sense8 as a whole and how Nomi and Lito kind of relate to everybody else. I was trying to think of who Nomi is like the most connected to, and I guess it's Will. But is that just because it seems like Will and Riley and Nomi are the lead characters?
Well, they're the most connected to Whispers. They're,
Right.
Like, all three of them.
I wonder why that is, though.
Yeah.
Like, what's so special about them?
Well, and that Will, like, I can't figure out how Will, like, had this when he was a kid, and Riley did too, but none of the other ones did, it seems like so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, it reminded me of Orphan Black. You know how, like, just only Sarah is the only fertile one? Anybody else watch Orphan Black? I know you do, Kyle. But, like, something about them being able to have kids seems a little weird. And so the fact that she had a baby was like a red flag. I was like, ear.
I don't know. That's actually a really, really good point.
I mean, it's not really a point. I'm making a point about another show.
I was thinking about Orphan Black.
I know. I'm like, so when they clone each other and they aren't genetically like predisposed to have children, that's not the same show. But it does seem weird that she's a mother and
Science
not the rest of
fiction,
them.
man. It all runs together.
It does. It's all, it's all H.G. Wells. But I think it's interesting. I also think it's interesting that she has brown hair in real life, because guess what? So do I.
Yeah.
But I've mastered the comb over, Sam Hewen.
Take note.
Take notes.
Take note, mister. Anybody want to talk some more about Hernando? Because I could do it all night, and we only have like 10 more minutes.
Oh, Hernando.
So real quick.
Hernando Nabini. That's all I'm going to say.
Hernando's glasses. Hernando's glasses. Hernando in his glasses and his underwear.
Oh.
God.
Fernando ran down Lito's underwear.
Like that. I'm sorry that I demonstrated it, but when they're in the orgy scene.
Oh my goodness.
You're welcome, Kyle. I'll do it one more time.
And the
Just in case you missed it.
bathroom scene in the art gallery.
Yes.
Oh, the bathroom scene, though.
When Lito says, I took him in my mouth like Holy Communion, you're just like, oh.
And then they show it.
Oh my God, you ladies. You guys really are like that girl.
I told you.
We are.
It's a real thing, Kyle. We'll talk about it afterwards in the post show, but it's a real thing that we're into.
Oh, super into.
I went to an anime convention at one point. It was 24 hours, and at 3 a.m. they had hentai, or not hentai, but like the opposite version, the gay version. And I was like, oh, I wonder what this is. I walk in, the room is filled with women, just women.
Yeah.
And they're all like, every time a male character touched another male character, they're like, ah! I was like,
Yeah, sorry, but we really like it.
That's
a lot.
I mean, that's fine. Whatever floats your boat.
I mean, I think heterosexual dudes like two girls, so it just lends itself to.
Yeah, it's true.
It just is. It's just we really like it.
You know, I don't think gay guys like heterosex though.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No.
I get that too. That makes sense.
It's fine.
I like it.
Well, I would hope.
Kyle, by the way, when you went, ah! That's exactly what I did when I was watching Sense8.
It's just so pretty. It's just such a pretty thing to see.
So pretty.
Hernando and Lito specifically. Very pretty. Just gorgeous men liking each other, loving each other, being boyfriends. Boyfriends are the best. I love a boyfriend. Boyfriends together. Very happy. Okay, so if we're good with Hernando and Lito's squealing, I have a request for good fan fiction, if you have any. Send us the links. I'd be happy to read Sense8 fan fiction. I have no problem with that whatsoever, so just send it on to @that'snormal. @that's_normal. And join us next week. Next week is our last hangout about Sense8. We're going to be talking about Will and Riley. We'll be wrapping up all of our theories about what's going to happen in Season 2. So everybody on the panel, have some theories about what's going to happen in Season 2 so we can have something to tell everybody. And that's what we'll be doing next week. Same time, same channel, same place. And in the meantime, give us your theories about what's going to happen in Season 2, so we'll have stuff to talk about, and we'll mention you. And we'll say hey. Thanks, everybody, for joining us on Twitter, and we will see you next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.